Hi, I'm Dr. Susan Hartley, and let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you felt needed? Truly needed by someone, not because you're retired or wise or kind, but because your presence made their world a little better. If that question stirred something inside you, this video might just change your life. Let's talk about purpose after 60, and why this chapter of life might be your most meaningful one yet. They say retirement is freedom, but no one tells you how quiet freedom can feel. The truth is, many seniors feel adrift once the job ends, the kids are grown, and the calendar clears. But science and life tell us something beautiful. People with a strong sense of purpose live longer, sleep better, and report fewer health problems. In fact, one study from the University of Michigan found that seniors with a defined sense of purpose had a 15% lower risk of death over the next 5 years. Why? Because purpose keeps us engaged, hopeful, and alive inside. So, how do you build that purpose? When routines fade and roles shift, let's explore 3 powerful, fulfilling paths: volunteering, mentoring, and creative aging. Stay with me. The stories I'm about to share might just light a fire in your heart. Let's start with volunteering. Meet Maria. She's 68 and volunteers twice a week at her local food bank in Minnesota. She told me, "I thought I was going there to help others, but after a while I realized they were helping me." You see, when we volunteer, our brain releases dopamine, that feel-good chemical that lifts mood and reduces stress. Studies have even shown that consistent volunteering can lower inflammation, improve cognitive function, and boost mobility. Yes, giving your time helps your body too. Whether it's helping at a hospital, reading to children, or simply knitting blankets for shelters, every act matters. And the best part? You choose what lights you up. Still with me? Because the next path might be even more powerful. Mentorship. There's something sacred about passing on what you've learned. John, a 72-year-old former engineer in Ohio, mentors young adults at a local community college. He told me, "They come in with questions and leave with confidence, but I leave with something too: relevance." Mentorship doesn't require fancy titles, just listening, guiding, and showing up. You could mentor a young professional in your old field, a teenager in your neighborhood, a single parent at your church, or even your own grandchild, intentionally, gently, with presence. The gift of mentorship isn't advice, it's relationship. It's saying, "I see you, I believe in you, and I'm here." Imagine a world where every elder felt heard, and every young person had a wise hand to hold. That world, it starts with you. Now let's talk about creative aging. Creative aging is a beautiful term used to describe the process of expressing yourself, artistically, spiritually, emotionally, in your later years. Why does it matter? Because creativity taps into joy, curiosity, and healing, all things we need as we age. One woman I know, Dolores, started painting at 74. She had never touched a brush before. By 76, she was teaching a class at her senior center. Her smile, unforgettable. Creativity might look like writing your life stories for your grandchildren, learning to play the piano, joining a community choir, dancing in your living room, or simply coloring in silence while music plays. These aren't just hobbies, they're soul work. They keep your brain active, reduce loneliness, and, according to the National Institute on Aging, may even delay cognitive decline. You don't need to be good at it, you just need to begin. So now you're probably wondering, where do I even begin? Here's a little roadmap. Ask yourself this: what lights me up, or used to? Choose one thing that feels doable this week. Call a local nonprofit, sign up for a class, or offer time to a neighbor. Share your journey with someone. Purpose grows in community. And if you're feeling resistance, that voice saying you're too old, you're too late, who would want me? Let me gently remind you, you are never too old to matter. You carry decades of life, wisdom, resilience. Don't let that go to waste. Dear friend, if you've made it this far, I want you to hear this clearly. You have so much more to give, not because the world demands it, but because you deserve to feel alive, connected, and full of purpose every single day. Volunteering, mentoring, creating, these aren't just things to do. They are ways to become more of who you already are. So start small, start messy, but start. And if this video touched your heart, please share it with someone you love, someone who might be feeling alone or unsure or quietly wondering, what now? Let's walk this next chapter together with open hands, open hearts, and open eyes. I'm Dr. Susan Hartley, and I believe your best years are still unfolding. Now let's go deeper into how these three paths, volunteering, mentoring, and creativity, are quietly transforming senior lives across the USA in 2025. Let's start with what happens inside the body and mind when you commit to purpose-driven action. Researchers at Harvard found that older adults who engaged in purposeful activities had significantly lower levels of stress hormones, like cortisol. That means lower inflammation, steadier blood sugar, and even fewer aches and pains. It's not just emotional health, it's physical well-being. Take Harold, 79, who volunteers at a local elementary school as a crossing guard. He says, "Those kids' smiles every morning, they're my medicine. I don't even notice my arthritis while I'm out there." He doesn't just show up, he lives for it. And studies back it up. People like Harold experience fewer hospitalizations and better cardiovascular health just by staying engaged in something bigger than themselves. Let's turn to mentorship again. Mentoring creates what's called generativity, a psychological term coined by Erik Erikson. It's the drive to give back, to nurture the next generation. When seniors mentor, they're not just teaching, they're connecting. That connection triggers oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and it quiets loneliness. That's why so many programs are now pairing retirees with youth, like Grand Mentors, an intergenerational initiative where seniors help young adults transitioning out of foster care. And guess what? Both sides grow stronger. Now, let's talk about something very close to my heart: creative aging. There's a reason art therapy is growing across senior centers in the US. It gives people a space to reflect, express, and heal without needing to explain or perform. Even coloring mandalas or writing short stories can boost dopamine and sharpen memory. And the emotional part? It gives seniors permission to feel joy again. One man, Bernard, started sculpting at age 81 after his wife passed. He told his daughter, "This clay listens better than any therapist." By 84, he had pieces displayed in his town's library. It's never too late to create something beautiful. And you don't need a studio or special materials, just a quiet corner, an open mind, and the willingness to try. Now, what's the one thing that ties all of this together? Belonging. Purpose isn't just about what you do. It's about how you feel while doing it. Seen, useful, connected. And for seniors over 60, especially those living alone or adjusting to post-retirement life, that sense of belonging can literally be life-saving. In fact, loneliness is now considered more dangerous than obesity or smoking when it comes to early mortality. But when you give, when you mentor, when you create, you reclaim your place in the world, you matter again. So whether you spend 30 minutes helping someone, or 3 hours painting, or 5 minutes encouraging a younger friend, you're building something powerful, something no medication can offer. You're building a life that feels worth waking up for. Let's talk about how to begin. Because starting is often the hardest part, especially when you're over 60 and feel like your best years are behind you. But here's the truth. They're not. You don't need a big platform or a formal title. Purpose can start small. Start with one simple question. What brings me quiet joy? Is it listening to someone without judgment? Teaching someone how to cook your favorite recipe? Writing letters to old friends? These small acts, often overlooked, are acts of purpose. Now, if you're more hands-on, look into local volunteer centers. Most towns have them. Or go online and search volunteer near me. You'd be surprised how many roles are perfect for seniors. Delivering meals, reading to children, helping veterans. One of my patients, Grace, age 72, thought she had nothing to offer after retirement. Then she started visiting a local animal shelter once a week. Today, she's known as the dog whisperer and says those few hours are the highlight of her week. "I don't feel old there," she told me. "I just feel needed." And being needed, that's a powerful medicine. The same goes for mentoring. You don't need to be a retired professor. Life experience alone qualifies you. Sites like Eldera, MentorUp, or even local high schools are actively seeking seniors to mentor young people in academics, life skills, or just emotional support. There's an unspoken wisdom you've earned over the decades. Don't let it sit in silence. Someone out there needs it. And finally, the creative path. Even if you've never painted, written a poem, or played an instrument, this is your time to try. Art is not about being good. It's about being free. One senior wrote a limerick every day for a year and ended up publishing a book. Another started doodling and now sells handmade cards to fund local charities. Your creativity can bring healing, not just to you, but to others who see it. You are never too old to be a beginner, because the joy of starting something new can be just as powerful, sometimes more powerful, than mastering something old. And if you're nervous, good, it means you're growing. Let's shift to something deeper now, something many seniors don't talk about enough: legacy. Not just the financial kind, but the emotional, spiritual, and human kind. What do you want to leave behind? What stories, wisdom, or kindness will outlive you? See, purpose isn't only about the present, it's also about creating meaning that ripples forward. You don't need to build a monument or leave behind millions. Sometimes your legacy is a single letter, a family recipe, a story told around a dinner table. One senior I worked with began recording short videos, just him talking about his childhood, his dreams, his regrets, and the people he loved. He called it his Living Memory Project. He sent the videos to his grandchildren once a month. They still talk about how much those little clips mean to them. One of them even said, "I feel like I still have Grandpa with me." That's legacy. And here's a powerful truth. When you live with purpose, your days feel fuller. Time feels kinder. And your health, emotionally, mentally, even physically, starts to shift. Science backs this up too. Studies from Harvard and Stanford show that older adults who engage in purposeful activities experience better memory retention, lower risk of chronic disease, reduced loneliness, longer lifespan. Yes, purpose literally adds years to your life, and not just any years, meaningful ones. So whether you're painting, mentoring, writing, gardening, storytelling, or simply showing up for others, every small action rooted in meaning becomes a step toward a life well lived. You're not done. You're just beginning in a new, deeper, more authentic chapter. And someone out there, even if you haven't met them yet, is waiting for the gift only you can offer. You've made it this far with me, and I want you to take a deep breath right now. Seriously. Pause for a moment. Inhale slowly, exhale gently. Now ask yourself this simple question. What brings me joy that also brings value to someone else? It might be your wisdom, your story, your ability to listen, your warm hands baking bread, or your patient voice reading to a child. Whatever it is, don't dismiss it. That's your thread of purpose. And here's the beautiful part. At this stage in life, you don't have to rush. You don't need permission. And you're not here to impress. You're here to express. To express who you are, who you've become, and all the love, laughter, strength, and insight you've gathered along the way. So whether it's volunteering at a local shelter, mentoring a teenager who just needs someone to believe in them, or picking up a paintbrush for the first time since you were 20, do it. Because your time, your voice, your presence, they still matter. You are still shaping the world, even if it's just in the heart of one person. That's enough. That's everything. And if this message touched your heart today, if you felt seen, understood, or maybe even a little inspired, I'd be honored if you'd share this video with someone you care about. Because we rise, always, by lifting each other. And I'll be here again next week, with more gentle advice, real stories, and compassionate science. Just for you. Until then, stay purposeful, stay kind, and never forget. You are not too old. You are just right for this moment. I'm Dr. Susan Hartley. Thank you for being here. And as we come to the close of today's video, I want to remind you of something simple and powerful. Purpose doesn't retire when you do, it evolves, and sometimes it whispers instead of shouts. It may come from a smile you give a stranger, a story you share with a child, or the quiet joy of finally doing something just for you. Whether you're volunteering your time, mentoring someone younger, or discovering a new creative path, you're not just passing the time, you're shaping it. You are proof that life after 60 is not about fading, it's about shining differently. So if this message meant something to you, please, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who may need a gentle nudge of hope today. And if you'd like more warm, human-centered health and life advice, just for people like you, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you with me each week. Until next time, I'm Dr. Susan Hartley, wishing you courage, connection, and purpose in every season of life.